Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to take a professional trader's book and turn it into your own personal training session on the single most important skill in trading: survival. You see, it's not about finding that one perfect stock. It's about staying in the game long enough to actually profit. Okay, let's kick things off with a pretty sobering fact. A huge 90% of aspiring day traders fail. But the reason why isn't what you'd think. It's not because they're bad at picking winners. It's because they are totally unprepared for the one thing that's guaranteed in trading: losing. I want you to picture this. You win 9 out of 10 trades, banking small profits each time. You're feeling on top of the world. Then, on that 10th trade, a small loss pops up. But instead of cutting it, you just hold on, hoping it'll turn around. Well, it doesn't. That one single loss completely wipes out all 9 of your wins, and then some. And that is the paradox. The real enemy isn't having a bad strategy. It's one single unmanaged loss. So how do you join that successful 10%? Well, we're going to follow this roadmap right here to get you there. We'll start by really understanding that failure paradox. Then we'll shift to a professional's mindset. After that, I'm going to give you a solid playbook of rules, show you how to build emotional discipline, and finally, lay out a step-by-step plan to get you started safely. So let's get right to the root of this paradox. Look, it's not about fancy charts or secret stock tips. It's all about psychology. You see, most of us are just wired to fear taking a small, definite loss. And ironically, that very fear is what leads people to hold on and take a much, much bigger one.
And that brings us to the most crucial mindset shift of all. Professional traders, they're not hunting for some magic strategy that never loses. They are not obsessing over how much they could make. Their entire focus shifts from chasing profit to meticulously, obsessively managing risk.
Here's what that difference looks like in the real world. A gambler jumps into a trade thinking only about that potential win. A professional, before they even think about clicking the buy button, first calculates their maximum acceptable loss. When a gambler loses, they react with emotion, usually trying to win it all back with a reckless revenge trade. A pro, they just accept the loss calmly, like a predictable cost of doing business, and they move on. Okay, time to get into the actionable playbook. And listen, these aren't just suggestions. These are the 3 non-negotiable rules that will protect your capital and, most importantly, keep you in the game. All right, rule number 1. It's all about the math that puts the odds squarely in your favor, the profit-to-loss ratio. It's actually pretty simple. For every single trade you take, your potential profit has to be at least double your potential loss. This 2-to-1 ratio, this is the core statistical advantage that separates the pros from the amateurs. And this is why that 2-to-1 ratio is such a game changer. Just take a look at this table. With that ratio, you only need to be right 1/3 of the time just to break even. Now compare that to a negative ratio, where you're risking more than you stand to gain. You'd have to be right 2/3 of the time just to stay afloat. I mean, it's pretty obvious which game is easier to win. Okay, rule number 2 is your automatic safety brake, the stop-loss order. And listen, this tool is absolutely non-negotiable. It's an automated sell order you place with your broker the second you get into a trade. It's what forces you to be disciplined by taking your emotional, indecisive self right out of the equation when it's time to take a loss. Now, your stop-loss isn't just some random number you pull out of thin air. You place it at a logical, technical level on the chart, maybe like a recent area of price support. If the price breaks below that level, it just means your trade idea was wrong, and that stop order gets you out automatically. No second guessing, zero emotion, just pure execution. And the third rule is an absolute career saver, the daily max loss. Think of this as your personal circuit breaker. Before you even start your day, you decide on the maximum dollar amount you are willing to lose. If you hit that number, doesn't matter if it's from 1 trade or 3, you shut down your platform and you walk away. No exceptions. This single rule will prevent one bad day from turning into a catastrophic, account-destroying disaster. So now you have the rules. But you know what? Knowing them, that's the easy part. Actually executing them in the heat of the moment, when those powerful emotions of fear and greed are screaming in your ear, that's the real challenge. And this is where discipline becomes your most valuable asset. So the big question is, how do you build that mental muscle? With discipline drills. These are the habits you have to practice until they become pure instinct. You always walk away when you hit your daily max loss. You never add more money to a losing trade. You accept that small losses are just a business expense. And you keep your trade sizes consistent so one big bet can't just undo a whole day of careful work.
So, how do you put all of this into practice without risking a single dollar of your hard-earned money? Let's lay out your plan for that crucial first month. And listen, the goal here is not to make a bunch of fake money. It's to prove that you have the discipline to follow the rules.
All right, here's the plan, step by step. For 1 full month, you are only trading in a simulator. No real money, period. You're going to set a daily profit target, let's say $150, and you set your daily max loss to that exact same amount. Hit either one and you are done for the day. And on every single trade, you must identify your 2-to-1 profit target and your stop loss before you enter. At the end of each week, you review your stats. Remember, the goal isn't to make fake money. It's about proving you have a statistical edge and, way more importantly, the rock-solid discipline to execute it. And there you have it, the professional mindset and the survival playbook. Trading success isn't about being some kind of genius stock picker. It's about being a disciplined risk manager. You have the rules. The only question left is, are you ready to follow them?